Welcome to another episode of Conscious Conversations. Please forgive me, everybody. I was having some technical difficulties. My computer is running kind of slow here, and I don't understand why. But we are streaming on all three platforms. We are streaming on YouTube. That's J to J TV on YouTube, as well as Instagram, J to J Speaks, and also Facebook, J to J. So please do come on into the room. I'll give everyone an opportunity to come onto the room as we get into tonight's discussion. Got a few little things we want to talk about today. Um, go over some headlines as well as whatever's on your mind. Want to discuss the love of money. So y'all come on in. All right. Come on in, people. Please do come on in. I hope everyone has had a wonderful week, a very productive week. Um, I have got some things accomplished. I do want to apologize for not being on Tuesday. My sincere apologies. I owe you all that. Um, I am working on my consistency, as I stated at the beginning of the year. So, you know, uh, I just wanted to offer an apology, and I'll do better. However, next week I won't be on as I'll be out of pocket. I'll be out of town and I don't know if I'll be able to go live. So, I'm more than likely I will not go live next week, but we will return the following week. Got some pretty good shows scheduled. Um, and I won't have to be doing these things on the fly. So y'all bear with me. But please do come on in the room. Who do we have in here? Shelly Belly. We got Rochelle in the house. Happy Friday. And we got Estelle. What's going on? Another Stelly Belly. We got Shelly Belly and Belly. Of course, Stelly Belly is Shelly Belly is Shelly Bacon Belly. Bacon loving behind. So y'all come on in and we will get this conversation started. Um, yeah, got a lot of good things going on. All right. So how's y'all week going? Anything exciting happening for anybody? Any Okay. What time is it? Few minutes late. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and get the topic started. Um, there's been a lot going on this week. I don't know if you all have been paying attention to what's going on in the world as it relates to um the war and the Gaza Strip. I don't know if you all know the history of what is happening there, but basically, the Palestinian people have been under occupation, really apartheid-like system since 1947. Land was taken, and it was allocated to the so-called Jews. I have to be very careful of what I say and how I say because, that's a sensitive topic. Um, the show could be pulled. My Facebook, Instagram, everything can be shut down because they're very sensitive on that subject. But South Africa has taken Israel to the International Court of Justice at The Hague. And I was trying to watch some of this, but kept getting distracted. I was kind of watching the proceedings. I watched the opening statement of South Africa, and the history of South Africa and apartheid, and Nelson Mandela coming out of prison, becoming the president of the new South Africa. And what is a shame is that South Africa, and I think there were a few other nations who stood with South Africa to bring charges against Israel for the genocide and the war crimes that is committing against the Palestinian people. This is something that I think that we as a people, whatever we're calling ourselves these days, African Americans, Black, Indigenous, niggas, whatever we want to call ourselves, because we got so many names. Um, that we pay attention to what is happening because we are under constant genocide and have been since since we touched these shores. And there were also our people who were already here. So just know that how this is looked at and handled throughout the world will show who really runs the world. Because there is no justice really for the poor people. The Palestinian people have no standing army. They're basically being punished for a group of extremists, if that's what they're saying Hamas is. But to deny the children and the women who are civilians, to deny them water and medicine and food, it is against humanity, and everybody should be speaking out against it. And in that stay, um, President Biden, or whoever this dude is behind the mask, because y'all know I don't believe that that's the real Biden, and he was a racist like a mug. So, you know, but we won't have that discussion about this dude being a serial racist and also writing the crime bill. But nobody cared about that. They just wanted to get Trump out of office. What's going on, Alvin? The Great, welcome to the show. It's like we don't want to get into these discussions when we're looking at these people's record, and like I said, with this being an election year, we need to be paying very close attention and have a real strategy, you know. Um, but Biden went to the Emmanuel AME Church to give a speech on um, white supremacy, and he was received, and there was protesters in the audience who stated that if he cared about human rights and white supremacy, he would um, call for a ceasefire in Israel at the Gaza Strip. And they had these people removed like they always do. They had these people removed from the church. Now, if you all remember, this church was where those 9 churchgoers let this white dude in. This Dylan guy let this dude in, and he killed them while they were praying, you know, which, in the Nation of Islam, for years, ever since the inception of the Nation of Islam, there is a search procedure. And, when we invite people out, when I used to be in a mosque, you invite people out, they separate the men and the women, and then they do a strip search. No, well, not a strip search, my bad, but they search your whole body, and they search your bags. Um, and this was something that Malcolm X himself had perfected, and did not do this on the day when he was murdered. He had so many FBI agents and New York police agents and uh, in his camp, but they convinced him not to do the search that day. I'm saying all that to say that even during times of prayer, you have to always be watchful, and that these churches and places of worship, we're living in a time where, man, people just shooting up schools with little babies. There has to be security, you know, there has to be security implemented. When we were coming up, we had like tornado drills, and we had like hurricane drills. These children today, they have to have active shooter drills. You know what I'm saying? They have to have active shooter drills. So, um, and it's just a scary time. What's going on? Tiff, sweet tea in the house. Peace and love, goddess. Um, well, thank you, sis. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. But I'm saying all that to say about Biden coming into this church, to the AME Church, which happened to be um the church of, what is this, but um Denmark Vesey. Denmark Vesey. He was the founder and pastor of this church. So this is a historical church in South Carolina. Now, mind you, this is the same church that didn't want to let Minister Farrakhan come speak after those people were murdered. And the people of the church immediately offered forgiveness to the Dylan guy, like as if this dude asked for somebody's forgiveness. Now, you'll remember that after he killed these 9 people, the police who arrested him alive, they took him to Burger King because he was hungry. Now, this ninja then killed up 9 people in cold blood while they were praying, and the police took him to get a Whopper. I just want y'all to let that sink in. Just let that sink in. So really and honestly, there is no justice for us at the Justice Department, the Police Department, the White House, the Hague. We really are in this by ourselves, but I don't think that we really realize that there is a war going on, and not just a wider war, but a war against us, and it's never ending. So I had just wanted to mention that that Biden had went into this church, and how they handled those people and how he handled his speech. And look at that, this is an election year, so now he wants to make his rounds. Last election he was talking about some, you ain't black if you don't vote for him, and all this other type of crap. But it'll be interesting to see how this election year goes. And I just want to say, I want to bring on Dr. Ali. He has agreed to come, but we need a strategy, and we didn't want to follow Ice Cube strategy last time. I don't know what's wrong with the niggas. Well, excuse me, they might cut me off. I don't know what's wrong with y'all, you know, but we do have to have a strategy, and we don't. Our strategy is to go in and vote Democrat, 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 Democrat down the whole line and just keep it moving, which is stupid. I'm gonna say it every time I get an opportunity to. Until we learn how to play the game properly, we will continue to be getting nothing, for our vote. Absolutely nothing. It's just like playing Monopoly. When you sit down to play Monopoly, if you looking to get the little doggy and the little figures, then you don't know the game. If you ain't trying to be the banker, you don't know shit. You gotta know how to put yourself in the best position to play the game. And I don't think that our people have learned that yet. Also in the news, in New York, the synagogue, there was this Jewish synagogue, and my grandson's birthday party, they turn up the music over there. Um my grandson my what was I saying? The Jewish synagogue had a tunnel. The tunnel was causing some of the other buildings to be um unstable. And one moment, please. Y'all give me one moment. Y'all do know that I'm on the air, right? Y'all have to forgive me for that. If they forgetting I'm on the air. So I had to let them know I'm on air. Had the birthday music blasting pretty loud. Um, yeah. What's going on, Sister Shawanda? Peace and love, peace and love. What's going on? Oh, is that the Candy Man in the house? Money mogul, Candy Man. What's going on, Jonathan? Happy belated birthday, nephew. Um, trying to fix my camera, people. Okay, yeah. So again, I got distracted because again they having a birthday party out there, and they gotta wait another 40 minutes. Um, but this tunnel that was under this historic Jewish synagogue, um, some newspapers are not even really reporting the complete truth, because these Jews, these Orthodox Jews, they basically, if you go look at the video, they basically ransacked and almost ran over the police. Like it was like a commotion going on because they were trying to keep them from going in this tunnel. Well, once they went into the tunnel, they found high chairs, soiled mattresses. This was like it led to a Jewish bathhouse. So this was like some sex trafficking, sex ritual crap. And I know people don't like to talk about it, but it's the truth. In their Talmud, certain things are allowed when you're talking about the Goyim, and this is whom and what they call everybody that is not Jewish. And certain things are allowed. Um, and there were 9 arrests, but none of the arrests included anything dealing with child or children pornography or trafficking. But, again, when we're talking about these religions, whether it's whomever, the Catholics, the Jews, undercover Muslims, whomever you are that are raping these babies, this, there is a I don't believe in heaven and hell as a physical place, but there has to be some type of punishment. I'm even starting to question karma. You know what I'm saying? Because karma ain't doing its job on everybody. I'm just saying we've been here 500 years and they ain't got their just due yet. So I don't think karma worked for everybody. Or maybe it's some type of clause that they don't get theirs right now. I don't know. I'm just saying that whole karma thing. I'll have to readjust my thoughts on that because everybody ain't getting their just due. But the raping of these babies is just ridiculous. And in the future, I definitely would like to have um a few shows on the effects of being trafficked as a child or being raped and molested. And I mean, so many people that I know have suffered that. But anyways, that is not our main subject tonight. Just wanted to go over a few other current events. Oh, one more current event that I definitely wanted to discuss before we get into tonight's subject was the parts, the Boeing parts, the Spirit aerial Boeing parts, as a plane, a door flew off one of the Alaskan airline planes. Now, I fly a lot. I don't know if any of you are frequent flyers, but I don't fly Dollar Tree Airlines. And anybody who knows me know I don't fly Dollar Tree Airlines slash Spirit slash Frontier. And the reason why I don't is because number one, it ain't as cheap as they make it seem after you finish paying for your damn seat and the expensive prices on the goddamn luggage. You know what I'm saying? It's still you still end up, paying for all that to get on this plane and hear this mug raggedy as fuck. I'm saying? I don't know about y'all, but Spirit got some raggedy ass planes. And I'm already the type of person when I'm on a plane, when it's first taking off, I'm so serious. I'm just like a little bitch. Stomach is butterflies is churning and I just hate it. Oh, and whoever's sitting next to me is having a day cracking up. But I have had a few experiences on Spirit where I heard I heard the parts. I was like, y'all don't hear that? Y'all don't hear that rattling? And I knew that I was right when on one of the last time that I did ride Spirit, um, I ended up we had to end up landing a plane in California. I was headed to Seattle. We ended up having to land the plane in California. And then they had to switch us on to another plane. But I knew that I heard the parts. And so anyway, there's a class action suit because um, obviously Spirit Boeing knew that these parts were faulty on some of these planes, and so they've grounded some of these planes. But just for the lookout for our people who like these cheap flights, I would rather pay the extra and feel a little confident in my mind that the plane is not going to fall apart in midair while you flying around in a tin can that they didn't weld it together. I'm just saying, ain't for me. um, yeah, that's kind of scary. The doors flying off. So that's all the current events for today that I had wanted to discuss. I wanted to get into the subject of it's like a combination. I just wanted to have a conversation with you all about what people do for money. People would do anything for money. And there was a situation last night that I came across. A friend of mine's let me ask my opinion about something, and it was a brother who was exposed on OnlyFans. Anyone who doesn't know what OnlyFans is, it is it's a platform where people can go on and get paid to do whatever people want you to do. If you got a foot fetish, then you can go on there and show your feet and people pay you to see your feet. You want to be a hoe, you want to get on there and whack your penis, I guess people pay for that. So it's just like, YouTube or like a porn hub spot where people can do whatever they want to do when people come in and pay to do that. So, anyways, the brother was exposed, and he stated that he was not gay, that he was only doing this for the money. And then one of the producers of the show asked, um, well, when did it become okay to do these type of things? Like, when did it become okay to just be shameless in public? Now, most of us on here are an older generation. I know that Jonathan is young, but Jonathan, you like fucking 45 in the mind. You know what I'm saying? But you know, and that's a wonderful question because something happened where when we were coming up, you couldn't be shamed. You know what I'm saying? Like you had to have some sort of dignity. Like back in the day we used to wear pantyhose. It was shameful to wear a dress and not have pantyhose on or not have a girdle on. You know what I'm saying? Like, there were certain things that you didn't do that were considered classless, or, you didn't want to shame the family. Your mom used to tell you when you walk out the house, make sure you have on clean underwear because you never know, you might get hurt and have to go to the hospital. You don't want to have dookie stains in your drawers. And, it's just, we're taught about shame and not embarrassing yourself or embarrassing the family, or these things that were these were these were important lessons. But we are living in a time now where this technology allows you to be seen and be heard and be visible, um, and be broadcast all around the world. What do you all think is that need for this validation, this internet validation, or, doing anything for likes, doing anything or doing it for the gram? Where do you think this psychology comes from? Like, and when did it creep in? Like, when? Because it's mainly these generation. Well, I can't say it's the generation Z's because you got old people that's online doing all manner of shit just to be famous or to be seen or to get rich. And I wanted to have that conversation to see how you all feel about that. Like, do you have limits? Because everybody got a price. Tony Moulin Bay, peace, God, says a lack of knowledge. Peace, sis. Welcome to the room. Um, I absolutely do think that it's a lack of knowledge. But let me ask you this, brother. You can have knowledge and still want to do anything to get rich. You know, the book says people think that they say money is the root of all evil, but that's not the actual quote. It is the love of money. Because money, like a gun, in and of itself is inanimate and can't do anything. You know what I'm saying? But let me see. Rosalind says the lack of attention as a child. Let's delve into that. Um, so you think the lack of attention as a child is why the vast majority of these people who are seeking validation from people around the world and likes that they need that attention? You don't think that it's just basically money based greed, that it could be greed? Elvin the Great says single parent home, lack of guidance by family members. Okay, so they'll break down in the village because there is no more the village doesn't exist anymore, really. We don't have a village, you know. Um I don't know. I think that it's a combination of things. We are dealing with an epidemic of single parent homes. Um but it has to be deeper than just, I'm not saying that the need for attention isn't childhood trauma, but the greed, you know what I'm saying? You got stars or these people, these entertainers that we worship, who sell their souls, literally, do anything. You know what I'm saying? Get duped up the behind to get on. Sacrifice family members to get on. Is that childhood trauma, or is that just an innate desire for money? That's a little deeper, I would think. I mean, I think it's a combination of all. Elvin the Gray says also many of these kids are kids from single moms, no dad to place the fear of God in kids. I definitely agree with that. I definitely agree with that. But then the question is, where the hell are the men? Why they ain't stick around to take care of their kids? And even if they are, not saying, because this is a subject for a whole. This is a whole nother subject. But even if you don't want to deal with the mom or she put you on child support, because I hear a lot of men blame the woman that she's single, but you don't have to abandon your kids because you're not in a relationship. Why? Why aren't there any dads? What the hell they had? Because I know I lived on the street and there was about 50 apartments and there might have been two fathers present on the whole block. That's an epidemic. Um, Stell says because they're being their friend as should instead of their parent. Okay, I definitely agree with that. A lot of us do tend to um, try to make our children our friends versus parenting them. But you can parent a child and not have anything to do with being greedy. You could be rich growing up in a home where you had everything that you could possibly want and kill your parents for the money. You understand what I'm saying? Like that money. Is it, and it's not even money. Is it the things that money can buy? Is it the statue? It's the love of money. I think that it doesn't matter what your background, what your race, whatever, that greed is. I think greed is more sinister or more underlining than the hurt that you feel. Now, don't get me wrong. You know, there are people who go on the gram like this. What's this guy from Jackass? The guy that's always hurting himself and everything like that, and he ended up regretting, and he was just saying he was doing all that because it became popular, and then at the time people were expecting him to do it, but and it was bringing in money, but he was hurting himself, and I do go back to what you were saying, Roz, about the childhood trauma, but it's there just got to be some type of boundaries that money can't buy. There got to be some type of money shouldn't be able to corrupt everything, but unfortunately that's the society that we live in. Um Sister Shawanda says that men aren't men anymore, and that's the truth. Because I remember when most of the men in my neighborhood, they all went to work. All went to work. I don't ever really remember seeing a man just hanging around all day, you know. And they might have had a woman on the side or a family on the other side of town, but they still took care of home. And I definitely will agree with you, sister, that men aren't men anymore, and they are quick to abandon their families. Um, Parents don't hold their kids to any standards. Okay, okay, I agree with that. But I think that you're dealing with children who are the children that this Generation Z children are basically our children. You know what I'm saying? The Generation X children. So did we not hold up the standards that our parents gave us because we thought we would do a better job of parenting our children? Like I know a lot of present day people don't believe in disciplining or spanking the children. I'm a proponent of that. I don't want to spank my grandson. Sorry, just ain't trying to do it. Know what I'm saying? But I know my grandma would knock your ass out quick, quick. So is that standard, has it been lost? Because a lot of us don't want to raise our children the way that our parents did. We take a little bit from them, but the vast majority of we parent our children the way we want to. Um, let's see. Also, demonism is on the prowl these days. Explain, explain. And when you say demonism, is that what the people be talking about? They on demon time? Everybody on demon time. I on demon time. I want to be on God's time. Shit. Everybody on demon time. The fuck is that? Mr. Charlie. Mr. Charlie says, how long have strip clubs been around? How long have brothels been? This was going on long before single family homes. Absolutely. Well, you already know that the selling of coochie is the oldest profession. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if it's insurance or prostitution, but either way, um, so I do agree with you. But again, that goes back to I think it's a combination of the childhood thing and the love of money, because as a woman, like brother Tony said, if you know yourself, if you have a healthy self-knowledge, you're not going to be slipping and sliding up and down no pole. But then let me say this: if you have self-knowledge and you hungry as hell, and you got little kids and their eyes looking back at you talking about mom, I'm hungry, you might go down there and blow off Mr. Charlie for a couple of bucks. You know, again, everybody has their price depending on the circumstances, depending on the situation. And people can say what they want to say. I would say that I'm not a thief, but let another Katrina situation happen and somebody's shit gonna get stolen. You know what I'm saying? You can say what you're not gonna do until you're faced with that situation. Right, sis? Stevie O. That's the brother's name. That's the brother's name. Jonathan says the men didn't have dads neither. They don't know any better. I agree with you. I agree with you on that too. I think that that father being present is everything, man, because the girls gotta have a healthy self-awareness. They gotta have that father, uncle figure, uncle, or that male figure to kind of ground them and let them know that they are beautiful and that they don't have to accept anything from men. Um, and also, brothers, you can. I think that you parent to the degree that you were parented. Some of us make it out and become better parents than what we were parented, but for the most part, you can only parent to the degree that you were parent. So a lot of these brothers don't have never seen an example of a real man, like real talk. I was a grown woman before I knew what a man was or is and how to treat him. That's another thing that we don't know how to treat one another. um Tiff says, I think besides the fact that these times were prophesied to happen, the powers that be, the rulers of this earthly world, know and understand that although it was prophesied to happen, it was also written that the God or the gods would also take back the planet and clean it up. The mind of Satan is relentless in opposition to the Most High, cleverly enough to take a third of the angels with him. As we were taught, these days had to happen first before this planet is to be taken back. It is very weird. And sister, all of that is definitely true, and it's in all of the books. But I think that going back to the standards that Rochelle was talking about earlier, how many of us really take our children to church? Because I know when I was coming up, I was in church every Sunday, in Bible study on Wednesday, at choir rehearsal on Thursday night, prayer service, revival. I mean, our children don't even really have a spiritual foundation per se. Not saying that they don't have a spiritual foundation, but it's not like when we were coming up when our parents made us go to church. Like I knew when my grandmother used to be like, if you can run them streets all night, you take your ass to church on Sunday. So I had to go to church, and then we would go down to the Catholic church because you go down to the Catholic church, they get out at 8:30. They church is only like 30 minutes. So dang, you'd have completed your spiritual edification for the week. But back then at the Baptist and the Sanctified Church, they'd be in church to damn 3, 4 o'clock, you know. But that goes back to what I'm saying about that standard, that today's parents don't instill that godliness or that set that boundary. You know what I'm saying? Ariel says, hello everyone, just joining, catching up on the convo. Peace and love, beautiful. Elvin, the very fact that these kids or people place themselves in an extremely risky or risque dealings, yeah, they don't have no fear. They are fearless. They are absolutely fearless. Um, Rod says, "Don't blame Mr. Charlie. Mr. Charlie is just a man, and he's doing them." Yes, yes, yeah. We gonna blame Mr. Charlie because if Mr. Charlie didn't have no money trying to get his rocks off, then there would be no demand. You know what I'm saying? Um, what you say, L? The very fact that these kids. Okay, we read that. We read that one already. Let me see what else we got here. I want to make sure I catch everybody. That was the side effect of the last. Let me see. Because something they done and won't think that they will kill. But yeah, like I said, I mean, we are living. If you just want to open up Revelations, that's the headlines. You don't even need to open up. See the headlines. Just go open up Revelations. That's the headlines that we in today. Um, you know. Let me see. Mr. Charlie says every generation will outdo the last. So if they are developed in a destructive environment, then they would take that destruction to the next level. Again, I definitely agree with you because there is no guidance, there is no training. These young kids, they got the girls out here robbing and jacking too, especially here in New Orleans in the East is wild. They will carjack you quick, you know, and these are 13, 14, 15-year olds who are carjacking because these teenagers need money. And you're not gonna tell them like in our generation it was Calvin. They had these McDonald commercials was Calvin was getting his diploma and Calvin was working at McDonald's. These children don't give a damn about McDonald's and Calvin. You know, the 15-year-old girls look like 25, 30-year-old women. You ought to see some of the prom pictures and just how they dress as women and how they conduct themselves. Like, I mean, we were sneaking smoking weed at 15 and, doing, but I mean, these women, these girls, they're like women. Elvin says people can still be in church or around the best things, but the guidance and understanding is necessary for helping oneself. Also, there are devils in the church as well. Oh, absolutely. That's where they all hiding in the church. That's why them kids don't want to go. Oh, hypocrites. This generation isn't acting like they don't see and aren't affected by the shots happening in these houses of God. Right, right. They don't like the hypocrisy. Biblically speaking, we can't blame Satan because the Bible says that God created evil and witness for his purpose. I agree. And I absolutely agree, you know. And really and honestly, you can't blame Satan because he don't have any power over you. Blame yourself for chilling. You know what I'm saying? um yeah, it's something because they've made the planet to such degree that you have to have this thing called money, you know. And it's sad that we have to pay to live on the earth, and it's so beautiful and it's so vast and it's so much land, and anybody can put a seed in the ground and watch it grow into, whatever you need to sustain yourself. Everything that we need has been given to us by the creator to make this a heaven while we live. And it is a shame that we are taught to search and strive for something after we die when you don't even know what that is, when everything that we need is right here, plentiful. And the devils have basically taken it over and charging you for it. But again, I put that on our men because they should take back the planet. We gonna say that, but niggas need jobs. Ain't much you can do when you need a job. Ain't too much fighting you can do when you got to pay your truck note, you know. um so like I said, this young man who I really would have wanted to talk to and find out from him what is going on in your life that would make you want to entertain having sex with a man if you're not gay. I mean, the men that I know that aren't gay about to put themselves in that position for I don't know how for no amount of money. Just like you have men like Cat Williams and Dave Chappelle and certain men who refuse to put on a dress. It is just against their level of integrity. You know, they're just not doing it. But I do know that Cat Williams and Dave Chappelle both have Islamic backgrounds, but they're not putting on the dress. And I don't care how much money you offer them. It's just certain things that you wouldn't do. Now, I, if I was a man, I would put on a dress depending on how much money y'all offer it. It's just a dress, you know what I'm saying? Shit. Um, but I wouldn't feel like I'm taking away a part of my manhood if I put on this dress. I get what they're saying, but I ain't gonna lie. That would just if I'm not a man, so But I'm just saying if I was a man and somebody came and offered me $20 million to put on a dress, I'm like, where the fucking makeup at? I'm saying shit. I ain't got to do nothing, but I get what they're saying in terms of it's the ritual, it's the humiliation ritual in Hollywood. And there have been white men who have had to put on the dress too. Let me just say, it's not just the brothers. They make it seem like it's just brothers putting on the dress. No, that's a Hollywood ritual. But any of y'all sitting over here talking about if somebody came to you right now, I'm talking about the men now, and offered you $10 million to put in the dress, and you know who you are, and you know your sexuality, and you strong in that, you mean to tell me you would put that dress on for $10 million? Man, get the fuck out of here. I'm just saying, you know. I mean, the Scottish people got them little skirts that they put on. Muslims be wearing them long things. I'm just saying, that's how you look at it. $10 million, I think I would put on a dress. Now, if they're asking me to do something sexually, then we draw the line. Asking me to lay up with animals and kids and shit like that, then we draw the line. But $10 million to put on a dress, we putting on that dress, people. But everybody got their price. I'm not a man, so it'd be easy for me to say that. Um, Oh, wait. What you say? Ariel said, "Why are we looking for others to be an example of what we want the next generation to be? When I was a kid, I had physical, everyday examples right in my face. When I needed money, I was taught how to get it. That is true. Learn how to cut grass, learn how to do hair, etc. Instead, this generation is just handed everything. Absolutely entitlement. Nobody is actually showing them right to their face. It's like they just been thrown to the world like, huh, go live without the lesson. That is true. And, Rosalind is a teacher and she says it all the time that these children are basically raising themselves. A lot of these children are raising themselves. Um, Johnson, if you stand for nothing, you'll fall for anything. Values, morals is all that we have at the end of the day. Absolutely. But everybody's moral compass is different. Everybody's moral compass is different, is what I'm saying. You know, just say like Jaden, like Jaden Smith. He put on the dress and stuff, and to me, his sexuality is not in question. He let people wonder for the shock value of it, but I don't think it takes away, if if the man knows who he is. But you're very right. If you fall for anything, if you can't stand for anything, then you definitely will fall for anything. That's a very true statement. What we got, Mr. Charlie? Money is fantasy. That they use to control you, absolutely. And it's all about the control of your thinking, time, and your actions. So true. So true. White men are okay with compromising themselves. hmm Sis says World War III is now. Absolutely. It's a battle for the hearts, spirits, and minds of the people. The battle is in the sky, mind. Social media is the battleground, and the war masters are winning. They are using everything in their power to wage this war. Celebrities are accomplices. Oh, yes, indeed, sis. Yes, indeed. Yep, that's absolutely true. That is absolutely true. And where are we, the poor righteous teachers? Ariel says, I don't know if I'm on topic, but just commenting on what I'm hearing, the culture has been messed up for a while and nobody's doing anything to help the next generation. Well, I don't think the next generation want to be helped because they all out here doing them. Why says, let's go shopping, sis. Understand this also, men are being emasculated chemically in this country. atrazine, fluoride, etc. Yes, yes. I saw a report not too long ago about the amount of, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly, atrazine that they put in the water. That this chemical has been known to transform completely the sex of frogs, not just the sexuality, but transform the gender. And this is some of the things that they're putting in our water. Absolutely right. Good observation. We've lost that village that we had growing up. That's what I'm saying. The village is gone. There is no more village. And then too, it's hard to have a village when you don't want somebody touching your kids. I know people who don't want their own grandmothers to discipline their grandchildren. You know what I'm saying? People don't want you touching their kids. So, the village doesn't have the same effect, because when I was coming up, I still call my aunts and uncles, uncle such and such, aunt so and so and so. You know what I'm saying? These were like second mothers and fathers. And, if I went across the street or I didn't speak to, this particular older person, they called my mama. And then, what I'm saying? It was like, it really was a village. But these days, people uphold their children and they're wrong. They go to the school, cussed out the teachers, so it's hard to maintain a village when the village mindset no longer exists, you know. Charlie says we have to realize it's all about the role models. Other people set the role models for our community. Yeah, well, and you're right. I can't take anything away from that statement, Mr. Charlie, but let me say this. There was a time when you didn't have so many outside influences. You know what I'm saying? Like sitting the TV in your living room is like sitting the devil in your living room. And it is a programming box. That's why they call it your regular scheduled program. But in today's society, like my grandson, he has an iPhone 13. These children, 2 years old, 1 years old, not even 1 years old, they're scrolling on the phone. They know how to work the phone. They can remember the pictures and get where they're going. The parent, is no longer the greatest influence in the child's life. If you are not your child's greatest influence, and the friends are raising them or guiding them, or the peer pressure is causing them to make decisions, you can set role models in front of them all you want, but that phone is God right now. The phone is God. Get education and you can have anything. I, I get what you're saying, sis. I'll say get knowledge, because it depends on what type of education we're talking about. Because the education that they are giving us is only made or present to make us servants, to make us slaves. They are never going to teach you how to um get out of your oppression. They're never going to teach you how to overthrow their rule of you. You know what I'm saying? So the educational system that we're presently under was crafted by John D. Rockefeller. When they took over the schools, they took over the medicine, you know. And so it just depends on the type of education. Now, when our parents were coming up back in the day, in the early 50s and the 60s and the 40s, going to college and getting a education was a way out of poverty. Well, that's not necessarily the case today. You know what I'm saying? It just depends on, I do believe, getting knowledge or gaining information and intelligence. But I just wanted to be particular about that word education, because the white man's education ain't shit. And I'm saying that outright. It really ain't shit. Tiff said, no, the village is sick. Word. We have a village. It's just a village of idiots. Oh, yes, yes, yes. Absolutely. 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 Man, this has been one great conversation. Absolutely great conversation. Um, and like I said, it seems like we are at the bottom of every list that's negative. We are at the bottom. Like, oh, another fact that I didn't get on today, that black people are, let me see, there are 3.5 million black American households that have negative net worths, according to this study. I saw the other day that the average black home has a combined saving of, y'all ready for this? $8 motherfucking. $8. And your average Caucasian home has $250,000. Now, I'm just gonna I'm just gonna make my observation. You see how when you go on these jobs and they tell you don't be discussing your pay, it's not professional to be discussing your pay. That's because that white dude that's next to you doing the same job, they paying him about $30 an hour and they paying your black ass 17. And I know that to be a fact because it happened to me at Harris. One dude, we both supervisors. I got more experience than him. I've been a supervisor longer, and I'm making $20 an hour, and they was paying him 22. I was mad too, and I was saying to myself, "That's why they be telling people not to discuss your wages, because people be pissed off." You know what I'm saying? Women just done the same way. They'll give a woman a pay of say $20 an hour, but they'll be paying a man 35. You don't know because you're not allowed to discuss your pay. And that's how that inequality happens. So when you see the disparities on what these white folks are making versus what our incomes are bringing in combined and all this, it's like, well, goddamn. But it's systematic. It's systematic, you know. What's going on, Keon? My new peace and love. Welcome to the show. Yeah, it is very sad, and I learned then that this is why they keep it secret. You know what I'm saying? Well, I can't discuss with you when we both make it. Because if we on the same job, I can see if you have seniority and you've been there a while, or even if you have more experience. You coming from someplace you got more experience. I can see you getting a couple of dollars more than me. But yeah, money. Keon says, they don't want you to know that you're being paid way less than your counterparts. Absolutely. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. And the only way we find out is when they let it out the bag. No doubt. A lot of people do that. They come into the room and come into the room, they'll watch but not actually come in, you know. But again, um, I appreciate anybody that comes in and that adds to the conversation, you know. Uh, so where we at? But yeah, like I said, after that conversation that we had yesterday, you know, and the question was brought up like, when did it become okay to just be so shameful, you know? Like I remember back in the day, the TV used to go off at 12 o'clock, and they be playing the national anthem and shit. You know what I'm saying? Now there is no shame. You got 500 TV. You got 500 channels. It's just it's a lot. It's a lot. So let me ask you. Let me ask you all this because most of us here are old heads. Um, you think what's going on, sis? Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Peace and love. You think technology, because we are most of us have we remember when their phones were dial-around phones and you didn't have to have a phone to go with you everywhere. And you know, um, do you think the technology is helpful, or do you think technology has done more to hurt? I I would rather, let me just say this. I would rather a society with less technology. Not only because I'm an operator that don't operate too well with these machines. I like my appliances dumb. I do. I don't want a smart fucking refrigerator. I don't want a smart thermostat. I don't need my toaster to be smart. I don't even need my phone to be fucking smart. I like my appliances dumb. Dumber than me. You know what I'm saying? But what I do like is that the opportunity that the technology gives your average man to make more money. I do like that. I do like that. But when you're our age, and most of us are in our 40s and 50-year-olds, 50s, um, you know, it's a two-edged sword because you like the advancements, but the advancements are becoming too much. And again, this goes back to um, the love of money. Pretty soon people gonna be doing all manner of shit to get money because the machines are gonna take over. They're talking about by 2030, 40% of the jobs. It's only like what's this is that's what 6 more years. They're saying that the robots will basically be 40% of the workforce. You'll have the cars and trucks that are driving themselves. I know I'm saying this today in this 2024, but I ain't trying to get in no car and ain't got nobody driving that motherfucker. I'm just saying, mug pull up and ain't nobody in there, and I'm just supposed to get in. Nah, I'm good. I'm good. Send me a regular person to drive me around. So, yeah, man, people, I greatly, greatly appreciate everybody joining the show and coming in. Um, it's 8 o'clock. So technically, um, well, I did come on a little bit late. Had my technical difficulties. Farlicia says, let's read her statement. I feel it has hurt society. Even something so small as using a calculator. We even use the phone to count now. Ooh, technology answers all questions now. It's the go to. Anything you need or desire, that's in reason. We use technology to get it or look it up. That is the truth. That is the truth. Yeah, that is true. I tell you what I don't like taking. I don't like the self checkout at the store. I don't like that. I want somebody to bag my shit, you know. But yeah, technology has definitely taken over, and we don't remember phone numbers. I used to had a Rolodex of numbers in my head, and now I might remember two numbers. I may remember two numbers, if that. But yeah. Oh, my people, my people, my peoples. Keon says I need my 1099 from Walmart. Right, right. Absolutely, sis. Absolutely. Um, but yeah, again, people, I want to thank you all for joining. And like I said, I do want to give another public apology for not putting up a disclaimer for not coming on Tuesday. Y'all know I'm struggling with my consistency. I really am. Um, and so y'all just have to forgive me. I will not be on next week, as I like I said, I have I'll be out of pocket for 7 days, and I don't know if I'll be able to use my phone. So we will be back on the air after that. So the shows that I had planned for next week, we'll just do it the following week, because we're traveling. I'll be driving all night, and then next Thursday I won't have access to my phone. So Felicia says, not to mention our phones or our wallets now. You can leave your wallets home. Huh, bruh? Isn't that something that your phone is your wallet? Isn't that something? Yep. Um, Me neither, because I feel like I should get compensation for scanning my own items and bagging them. Isn't that labor? Absolutely. Absolutely. It is. But they they tested these things out to see if the people would, do it. And now, you know, you might have one or two. You go to Walmart, you might have 1 or 2 aisles that are open. Everything else is just, you scan it yourself. You know, they're basically paying you. I mean, having you do their work. But we go along with it, and pretty soon, like I said, everything will be automated. They're talking about automating your food at these fast food places, that it'll be robots back there dropping the fries and everything. So what will the people do? Talk about the love of money. They're gonna be really. It's gonna be some hoes on the corner. That's all I can say. It's gonna be some hoes on the corner. Every Even the dollar store has self checkout now. It's ridiculous. And what dollar store? Because the dollar store is the $1.25 store now. I don't think you can buy. Can you buy anything for a dollar right now? Is there anything that really is a dollar? Appreciate the show. The forums are needed. Peace and balance, love and light. Be safe. And yes, run that 1099. Yes, indeed. Thank you, sis, for joining. I appreciate your commentary, you participating. Always your perspective, goddess. Yep. Yeah, I definitely appreciate everybody, joining in. And like I said, we're always looking for topics, new anything you come across in the news or articles you think that I should discuss, please inbox me and send it to me because I'm gonna say it again, that's always the hardest thing. Sometimes is finding something to talk about and to come on here and talk about it for an hour, you know. But we're improving, and we also have Melanin Momentum Media that is up now on Roku and Amazon. And if you have any videos or any content, any commercials, if you're a content creator, please send it to me. Inbox me or send it to Black Culture with a K, Black Culture Network at gmail.com. Always looking to post if you have any content that you want to create. I know Ariel, I know you create content, any commercials, if you're promoting your businesses or anything like that. You know anybody who has content, cartoons or anything that they want to promote, please hit me up and let me know, and we can get it posted on our network. We just want to improve our network and post the best content. If you would like to be a content creator and produce some shows, please let me know. If you have any show ideas, let me know. We can make anything happen that we want to make happen these days with these phones that we hold in our hand. Um, so with these phones that we hold in our hand, you can make your fortune. You can do anything. You can make a whole movie now. So with that being said, we are going to end the show. I thank you all for joining this Friday night, January the 12th. We are 12 going into 13 days into the new year. I don't know how your new year is going, but mine is starting off pretty good. So with that being said, people, I love y'all. Peace, love, and happiness. Um, Check me out not next week, but week after next, because like I said, I'll be traveling Tuesday and Thursday. I'll be out of pocket. I do think this is also streaming on Instagram. Please go to Jada J TV on YouTube and subscribe, like. Subscribe, like the videos that are there. I'll be posting this one up after I get it edited, and I'm trying to get my subscribers up. So y'all, please go and subscribe. I love y'all. Again, that's Jada J TV. Um, Go to YouTube, Jada J TV, and subscribe and like. And I will see y'all very soon with Conscious Conversations. What's up, Fifi? Peace and love. Y'all take care of yourself. Peace.